Okay, well, welcome, guys. Hello, Hatterera. I don't know how to say that. Welcome to the world of Twitch, where usernames are hard to read.
Yeah.
It doesn't help there's like a color that's like, I'm really far away from where the chat is, if that makes any sense. So welcome to the first live version of our podcast. If you want to call it, I guess, can you call it a podcast? If you don't put it on iTunes?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I should call it.
Live stream series. I look a lot shorter than you.
Like lower my chair.
No, I'll sit up.
Actually, I can't lower my chair.
Nope, you can't. He is taller than me by a lot. So, all right. Well, hey guys. What I was trying to say, I'm just gonna have to keep doing this. Is this okay?
Yeah.
This is not
fine.
weird for you?
That's right.
So what I was trying to say is, welcome to the first episode of our live stream podcast-y series. We're calling it Beating a Dead Horse, and we're calling it that for, I don't know, because we decided that when we get together, Jonathan and I, and we hang out, we just talk about random stuff.
This is true.
We can just ramble and ramble and ramble, and a lot of times it feels like beating a dead horse. And so that's what we settled on. It was something we were going to do. We tried to pre-record it, and that was god-awful.
Yeah.
It was so bad. And I would like to think that we're funnier than that. So this is our second try at this, trying to do it in a live format. So basically, I said it earlier, but some other people have trickled in. Hey, everybody that just came in. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to answer questions. If you've ever seen Table Talk on SourceFed, it's going to be kind of like that. Basically, you can tweet me questions. You can put them in the chat, though I said earlier I'll probably lose them. You can send them to me on Facebook. You can actually comment them on, there's a video on YouTube that if you saw that, you could comment there. And basically, we're just going to spend some time kind of picking them at random and answering them. I use the word random not correctly in the sense of what the word is today, because we got like a handful.
Right.
So we're just going to go through them. If this worked appropriately, what we do is we put them all in a hat. Not this one, because I'm wearing it. But we'd put them in a hat, and we'd pull out from the hat, and we'd answer from there. And that would be random. So today, not random, and it's your fault. It's all your faults. So, I'm going to go to our first question, which might take us the whole time. I don't know. Because it's pretty big for us. We're both movie buffs, and so the first question is, if you could choose only 2 movies to ever see again, what would they be? 2 movies for the rest of your life. What do you think? We're going to move this just a little. Nope, this way.
Yeah.
That way. Perfect. 2 movies.
God. Well, one would probably have to be Jurassic Park, but that's a personal favorite. I already watched a lot, so it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to say.
Jurassic Park? Okay.
I'll have to think a while on my second one.
Think a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, only 2. Like, I can't watch any other movies. Oh, man. So Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, I think, has to be
Good choice.
one. Second, only 2. If it was like 3, I could probably handle it. But 2, I don't know, Braveheart maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. So here's my criteria for, I'm thinking I gotta watch these 2 movies only for the rest of my life. And I want a movie that has, like, can pull double or triple duty, I think. So, like Braveheart, I mean, you got kind of the war movie aspect, so you got the fighting and the action.
Yeah.
You've got a love story, just in case, because every now and then you need a love story.
Yeah, you need something.
So you got your love story. You got comedy. There's comedy in that movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's got a bunch of things. Scott Pilgrim is pretty much one thing. Pretty much just comedy. But it's good. It's good comedy. And it's video game humor, which I need in my life. So I think probably those 2. I mean, the Lord of the Rings trilogy pulls a close, like any of them pulls a close second. Well, I guess a close third. But yeah, okay, I'm calling it Scott Pilgrim and Braveheart. That's mine.
It's pretty good choices.
Do you have a second one now?
I don't know. It'd have to be something else in like a sci-fi genre. I'll betray my Trek side and just go with Star Wars. The first, I don't really care. Any of the first three.
Any of the first
It's
three?
fine. Probably Return of the Jedi though. If I had to pick.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
You know, I think...
I just like the whole conclusion.
Yeah,
section of it.
kid me would have said Return of the Jedi. Because Return's got so much good stuff going for it.
Empire would be pretty close to it.
Yeah, man. So, as I've gotten older, I've come to like Empire a lot more.
Yeah.
Is that... Do you feel
No,
the
yeah, I feel
same
the
way?
same way. Yeah, I mean, Empire, I think, was probably my least favorite when I was a kid.
Yeah, what's
but
up
there was
with
a lot
that?
more. Well, I think there was a lot more kind of character development and a lot of I don't know personality aspects to it than more so than just like outright cool action stuff blowing up.
Yeah, I guess there were things, like, I'm thinking back as a kid, like, why maybe I didn't like Empire.
Well, you got a pretty heavy love thing going on with Leia and Han and Empire.
Yeah, but it's like, it's light. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah.
it's light. It is heavy-handed. Like, there's a lot going on, and it's pretty intense. But what I mean is, it's, like, kind of funny. I mean, Harrison Ford made it kind of funny by the whole, like, I love you, I know, kind of thing.
Right, yeah, that whole aspect.
Which, as a kid, even as a kid, I thought was funny. But yeah, I don't know. And then you get Yoda for the first time, and Yoda's awesome.
You get Yoda. You
But-
get the whole dynamic with Darth and Luke and that.
Yeah, I think
Exactly.
maybe I was watching it again recently, and I think Yoda somehow was lost on me as a kid. The intricacies of what's going on with Yoda, because
Right.
like, so I was thinking back, and let me look here. Okay. I was thinking back, and I just thought Yoda was crazy as a kid.
Well, yeah.
And I know there's some element like of him being crazy, but at the same time, after watching like the prequels and stuff, I feel like some of it is him doing like stuff on purpose to mess with Luke,
Yeah, absolutely.
which is totally lost on kid me,
Right, yeah.
like 100%.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
a good point.
Jurassic Park
We'll go Jurassic Park. We'll just go Return of the Jedi. Since that's
and
what
Return of the
it's
Jedi,
Yeah.
not Empire, even though we just talked about it for a long time.
That's okay. Either
Um,
or, though, this is fine for me.
So Jurassic Park, so explain. I love Jurassic Park, but explain
Well,
like your...
Well, Jurassic Park kind of, is kind of entrenched in my childhood too. So, like growing up, that was, as I date myself here, but like whenever I was, at 9 or 10, going to see that, it was pretty, incredible.
Yeah.
From growing up with loving dinosaurs and knowing all the kind of intricacies and all that kind of thing with it. And then too, but it's like the storyline is pretty. There's not been a lot of that kind of deal repeated. With the exception within the franchise of Jurassic Park itself. But to be a movie that's like 20 years old, it still holds up pretty well.
It does.
With the exception of like the technology that's in the movie. Like computers. and
Yeah.
stuff. Like all that is like dreadfully horrible. But as far as the actual CG itself, I still feel like it holds up pretty dang.
Did you see the re-release when it went to theaters?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought it was pretty good. I think it's better on my home TV than it is at the theater, probably in the majority of the
Yeah,
time.
I have that problem.
But-
I even have that problem with newer TV, like newer movies.
Yeah.
Like, so I and you too. You have one too. We both have 3D TVs. We bought that hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, yeah.
And I stand by it. I stand by the decision to buy a 3D TV. I don't care what.
Well,
Anybody
you don't watch everything on it in 3D or anything, but like,
No.
But there's a lot of stuff that to me is there's stuff I would watch at home on 3D that I wouldn't go to the theater and pay $16 to watch on 3D
Yeah.
on a projector that's relatively dim compared to my.
Yeah, and maybe
TV.
that's the problem. I think where we're at, like,
And you've got a really huge screen. It's really hard to kind of focus on.
yeah, I think
everything.
where we're at, the theaters maybe aren't so well suited for 3D.
Yeah.
And so a lot
Well,
of times...
other theaters other than here might be well suited to it. But
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, where we live,
Yeah.
I think maybe 3D... Sometimes I go and I'm like, what? I can't... Why is this so dark? Like, I haven't watched it yet, but I bought Pacific Rim, and I'm so excited to watch it on my TV.
Yeah.
Because when I watched it here, it was in, like, one of the lesser theaters anyway, like,
Oh,
in
yeah.
one of the lesser screens. And I feel like it was really dim.
It was, yeah.
Did we see that together?
think so.
I think we did see that together. Anyway, so yeah, Jurassic Park. I watched the re-release and it totally held up to me.
Yeah,
I was just as excited about the T-Rex. Like, and it's not a nostalgia thing. I really don't think it is, because I really was like, man, this still looks really, really good.
Yeah, there's not very many other like mid '90s movies that I watch, and the CG is like, holy crap, like this still looks incredible.
And it's crazy because it's like, it's really like one of the first where that kind of stuff was done on that level.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you be the first at something and do it so well that like it's still good now?
Well, I think, part of it is obviously like there's a lot of mix mash between like practical effects and digital. So I don't think they
Yeah.
I don't think they overuse CG. But I do know they took like a crap load of time like making it.
Yeah.
Too, as far as from like industrial light magic standpoint.
What was the production like time on that? Do you remember? You know.
It was a long time. I think it filmed in like '92 or '93. So
Yeah.
Like,
God, when did it come out? What year?
95, I think. 94, 95.
Yeah, I was way too young to watch that movie.
I probably was too, but it was still excellent.
Yeah, no, it's still... Okay, so, Scott Pilgrim, Braveheart, Jurassic Park, and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Boom. One question down.
That's right. And we only talked for half an hour.
And another one bites the dust. No, it's not been that long.
I know.
This is a quote from somewhere, right? I feel like it is.
Yeah. I don't
How
know.
long is it appropriate to wait after the fall of civilization to start wearing tires? Start wearing tires and put spikes on my truck? I'm not going to answer that because the next question is really that. How would you survive the zombie apocalypse, and where would you go? How would you survive the zombie apocalypse, and where would you go?
Well, I think the short answer of that is that I wouldn't. Probably. I don't imagine there's.
I got it.
I don't imagine that there's a lot of need for media direction and graphic design probably in a post-apocalyptic world. So I feel like my skills would probably be not utilized very well. But if I had to go somewhere, probably like seems like Costco or Sam's would seem like a great place to like hold out for a little while.
Yeah. Do you get in? Oh, because do you have a membership? I don't have a membership.
Yeah, I do. Sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with you.
Who cares? Like you just break in.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I think it's Sam's. They're still carding you at the
They
door.
might be, yeah.
I think they're still carding you at the door.
We can
like,
pay
no.
Yeah.
There's zombies out there, but you're not a member.
Send a membership card.
But for real though, like I don't think so. I used to have a Sam's membership, and I would go in and I would like. I had a Sam's membership. I was totally legit, but I would act like I was like, I don't know, had a fake ID or something. You know, you just like wait. I just waved it at them and be like, here, and put it in my pocket real quick. I'm sure they like.
Well, it's not that they really examine it, so I think you're fine.
Yeah, they do at the end. I guess that makes sense. But like, I don't know. Sam's is weird. I agree though. I think Sam's is probably a good place to go.
I was thinking it more from like the food, lots of food, water aspect.
Yeah. Do they have guns in Sam's?
I don't know. Walmart would probably be a fairly good place to go. Even though I really hate Walmart, but
yeah, I feel like
no
my
offense
first instinct would be Walmart because it's close, like literally close to where I live. So I think my first instinct would be Walmart. For the gun aspect, mostly. You still got the food and there's all that sort of stuff there at Walmart too. But I would probably I feel like you could hold out in a Sam's a lot longer.
Well, yeah, longevity. You could change places. You could go down to what's the outdoor store?
Oh yeah, right by our Sam's is a place called Academy.
No, not Academy.
No, not Academy. Yeah. Gander Mountain.
Gander Mountain.
Yeah.
that would be a good. That would be a good place to hold out because
that's
like
true.
A crap ton of
and it is right down the. It's right down the road.
Yeah, you might could make it with the guns you bought from Walmart.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the stream real quick, seeing what they're saying. Everything should be fine. It should be set now. I turned the thing off. Let's see. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna amend my answer. I think Sam's and Gander Mountain are probably a good bet. Which that's specific for us, like where we're at.
Right. Any big box.
Any place has got lots of things. I think is gonna be a good bet.
But you need to get there early to prevent other people from getting in.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go with you. I don't think I'd live very long.
I don't.
I could go to those places, but I'm just being honest.
I could shoot a gun, but eventually that.
Yeah, I can shoot a gun. I don't but I watched The Walking Dead, and I'm like, man, I would just give up.
Well, I would be really no good in like hand to hand. What they do in that show with just like stabbing things in the head.
Yeah, video games broke me. Like,
yeah. Well, video games terrify me on some of that aspects. I know.
like they broke me, and this is it's fun. It's sad because like video games broke me for some video games. Because like I'm awful at The Last of Us. Because Resident Evil taught me like there's ammo everywhere and just shoot as much as you want.
Right.
And
Which is not the case in that game
Last
at all.
of Us taught me that that doesn't happen, and I have to fight melee, and I can't press buttons fast enough. So I assume if I can't press a button fast enough, I probably couldn't stab something fast enough. I feel like those are not exactly 1-to-1 ratios.
No, I agree.
But yeah, so I would die, hands down,
Yeah.
dead. But prior to dying, I'm going to Sam's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stock up. And I know from playing like DayZ and stuff, like I just don't last long.
Yeah.
I can't sit still for very long and get bored. Maybe it'd be different if I was actually gonna die, but
Yeah.
like,
In a hypothetical situation. So.
yeah, okay. So that was that. Those are those questions. I had some questions on my YouTube, Facebook as well. Let's look at that. So it's not really a question, but I'll read it. So the culture that people give credit for taking pictures or video, but not for making music, and just the general disregard of culture for of the effort of musicians and musician saturation. I'd like to hear you talk about it, specifically me, because you obviously deal with a lot of beat makers. So I'm going to answer that like this. And I don't know if it's the way you meant for it to be answered, but this is how I answer. So the way I saw the first couple of sentences is like if someone takes a picture, 9 times out of 10, it's basically a built-in to culture to say like photo credit by, or if you use like something else, photo credit by. With music, that happens a lot less. And I think ultimately that happens because it's super easy to get away with. I mean, because like I don't know, it seems to be the same thing because you're like, well, you can look at a picture and see that that's mine, or you can listen to music and see that it's mine. But I think people just don't do that as much. They don't listen for the music.
Yeah, I mean, you would know more about that than me. I mean, I feel like you get away with it pretty easily with images too.
It's a little bit easy.
Depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, YouTube. I mean, YouTube. There's third-party content matches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Here's what I will say though. So in the photo and was the other question video? Other thing video. Yeah. In the photo and video world, sometimes just credit given is great. Like it's kind of more accepted to like, I want to use your photo. I'm going to give you credit. I'm going to link to you.
Right.
People that make music don't as much want to do that, which I think that they should, especially if the person wanting to use the audio is, I don't know, anything, if they have any sort of following. Something that I used to do when I first started YouTube was I would let anybody use my music so long as they link back to me. And I always said, people thought I was crazy, and I probably was. The money side of me says, yeah, you were totally crazy. But the reason I did it is because I was just starting, and I knew that if I saturated myself into the market, that would get me some sort of notoriety.
Right.
And it did. It worked. And so as I say that to say that I think there should be more people that are willing to do that sort of thing. As far as like, well, I want to use this thing that you made, but I'm going to give you credit for it. And I think honestly we live in a world where if that happens, it's probably okay now. Obviously, if the artist is not cool with it, they don't want their music used that way, like, don't.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that more artists should be open to the idea. I think so.
Yeah.
I might be totally off base. You may not agree with me. But I just think we are living in a time where it's harder and harder and harder to deal with, like, well, that's mine. You can't put it there. And so...
Which is a lot harder to enforce. I feel like, the web has grown to such a thing that it's just hard to... Or I feel like it would be hard to enforce it.
And I don't mean, like, just, like, roll over and take copyright infringement, but I do mean that, like, I think if in the culture the internet culture. It was like ingrained that like when you share things or when you use things, ask for permission, give credit. If that was something that was kind of ingrained in our culture, I think it wouldn't be a big deal. It's just not. And so when you try to work that with someone, they're like, they don't want to do it because they just want the money up front, which I get. I understand. I mean, this is a business for some of us. I understand the merits of saying, like, well, you got to pay me a license fee or all that. But I think just like when it was out and all these other things came out, and everyone was like, well, people are stealing music. Technically, they were. But there you had the artists that were like, well, we got to shut everything down, or or they could have done what some of them did, where they're like, well, we hate it, but let's use it to our advantage. Let's figure out how to work with it. It's going to happen regardless. How do we work with it? And I think you do that by saying, link back to me, ask permission, share, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I think that's how you do it. In the chat room, someone asked us, speaking of copyright, what about content ID on YouTube? Which I spend a lot of time on YouTube. You not so much, but you've heard kind of my argument, my complaints about third-party content. I don't want to spend too much on it because it's a frustrating headache and it makes me sad. But basically, content ID is pretty awful. It can happen for no reason. It can be completely wrong, or it can be totally right. It does what it's supposed to do most of the time, and sometimes it gets in the way. Just like I said, dealing with like people using your stuff and not linking or not telling, asking permission. Just how I said, like those people need to deal with like the world that they live in. So like the artists have to deal with the world that they live in. They have to figure out how to work in the context of, use a really big term, like not a big term, but a weighty term, like the New World Order. You got to deal with it as a YouTuber. It's the world that you live in now. As a person who makes parodies, I worry about third-party content all the time, but it's just the world that I live in. I've been to a couple of cons recently, and kids were like asking me, like, "Oh, but third-party content, how do you do to get away from it, and what happens?" And I just tell them, like, you're gonna get at some point, if you're doing parodies, gonna get third-partied. It's the world you live in. They're like, "Well, but how do I avoid it?" And I'm like, "You really can't. There's things you can try to do. They don't always work, and it just is the world that we live in."
Yeah.
And that's depressing. What else can we talk about? Do we have any? There's nothing else there. Nothing else there. We're gonna scroll through some movie stuff because we like movies. Apparently, Human Centipede 3 is awful.
Yeah. Who would have known?
Have you seen any of those?
I think the first one, maybe. I don't necessarily think I probably need to see the rest.
I have avoided them.
It's probably the wise move.
Yeah, but like people talk about it all the time. I feel like I should have seen it.
That could be a topic for the next discussion.
But I don't want to watch it.
Well, I don't. It's shocking that there are people that want to watch it.
I mean, I like the B movie kind of thing. I guess I wouldn't call it. Human Centipede 3 is like, it's like a D movie. Is what maybe not. I don't know. What are the effects good? Like,
I mean, I don't know. It's been a really long time.
Does it look like someone's pooping in someone's mouth? I mean, does it look accurate?
Yeah. Well, I feel like probably Sharknado has them beat on like effects. If that not that that's necessarily a bar or set extremely high.
Right. So I like some of these weird horror movies. I enjoy. I think I could probably try to watch the first one. I heard the second one was just like bad.
Yeah.
And then apparently the third one is so awful, and that's according to Eric Roberts, who is sworn to secrecy. One movie, I don't know if you've ever seen it, and I don't know if I've even talked to you about it before, but it used to be on Netflix, I think. But have you ever seen the movie Teeth?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, let me explain Teeth to you. Have you guys seen Teeth? Let me know if you've seen Teeth. Okay, so in this movie, this girl is a coming-of-age tale.
No. You've told me about this before.
Okay, so I'll tell you guys.
This is terrifying.
So Teeth is a coming-of-age tale about a young girl who has a horrible fake condition called vagina dentata, which is exactly what it sounds like. And so, spoiler alert. Um,
I was about to say.
this is so basically like she finds out like first of all this girl has the worst life ever. Like so in the course of this movie, she gets like I don't know. So she's at the gynecologist. No, maybe it happens. I don't remember if the gynecologist is first or if like the boyfriend is first. My wife would know better than me. But I think it was the boyfriend. I'm gonna say it was the boyfriend. So like the boyfriend and her are having not relations, I guess acquaintances. There's a little bit.
Acquaintances.
There's a little bit of heavy petting.
Is that a spreadsheet kind of term?
Yeah. Like heavy petting.
Acquaintances.
Acquaintances.
Neighbors.
Neighbors, and then like knowing each other. That's how we're gonna word it for censorship's sake.
Knowing each other.
But there's some touching happening, and it literally bites his finger. And I want to say it like bites it off, but I may be totally wrong. I may have made that up. Maybe it's something else. Maybe they were doing it. I don't remember. I try to block it out.
Yeah, that seems like a reason.
But so then she also goes to like the gynecologist, and he's an awful person, and he tries to have acquaintances with her. Loses a finger. Which good on her. That's good. Not good, but anyway, so that happens. Then like her stepbrother tries to like rape her. And then it all culminates somehow with like she finds out what it is, she finds out how it works, and then she like seduces her evil stepbrother and like uses it to bite it off.
Oh.
Like one of
very like Theon Greyjoy.
One of the last scenes I remember is she's like walking out of his room and he's like screaming in pain, and it just like drops onto the floor. And the evil stepbrother was the son from Nip Tuck, the older son.
Okay.
Which Nip Tuck is a whole nother.
Yeah, it's on another discussion.
God, Nip Tuck is awful.
Yeah.
I've watched it. I watched the whole series once. I'm over it. All of that was said to say B movies are good sometimes. Anyway, so B movies, fun. What's your favorite B movie? Do you have one?
Not particularly. I can't say it's a genre that I'm like really engulfed in.
Oh man, I gotta get you.
But I don't know what is. I don't necessarily know what the hierarchy of B movies would be either. I mean, like I watch stuff on Sci-Fi from time to time. It's entertaining.
Have you seen Pterodactyl?
I don't think I have.
I swear the whole movie was shot in front of a green screen. It's awful. Awful.
Well, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I'll check out Teeth. That sounds a little too terrifying.
B movie might not be the word. Maybe just like bad.
Bad.
I mean, because I put like.
It's a human centipede level.
Yeah, I mean, I put like Human Centipede, Pterodactyl, Teeth. It was just a movie I was just thinking of. Oh, The Room. Like I put all those together in just the. Now there's levels of awful.
Right.
But yeah, I think they're all pretty bad and just deserve that to kind of go in that category of like movies I might own just because they're fun to laugh at, but not movies that I take seriously.
Right. No, that's fair.
Okay. So Teeth, guys, don't watch Teeth. It's awful. So Roberto Orci wants to direct Star Trek 3.
Mm-hmm.
You're a big Star Trek fan.
I am, yeah.
So what's your take on that?
I don't know. I mean, he and Alex have been involved. I'm pretty sure since the reboot, if memory serves me correctly. So, I mean, obviously from like a storytelling, from a writing standpoint, I think they've done, pretty good. I mean, there's been some differing of opinion on Into Darkness, but I mean, I thought it was a pretty solid movie myself. But I don't know about directing. I mean, I just don't know where he is on that spectrum of things. I know he is doing part of Sleepy Hollow, which I don't know if you've watched a whole lot of.
The TV show?
Yeah, the TV show.
I've seen a couple episodes.
It's just pretty. I mean, it's it is what it is. It doesn't try to be anything that it's not. I feel like it is a little campy, a little bit to me, but I don't feel like it is so serious that you can't get away with that.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think I'm more okay with him than probably other people doing it, but At least it's somebody that's kind of entrenched in.
Yeah, so he like co-wrote.
He's covered the
fir-
first two.
the first two.
Yeah, with the the reboot.
And you said the first two Transformers movies?
I think the first two. He and Alex Kurtzman have done a lot of stuff together. So
Okay.
the first two Transform movies, I think Mission Impossible 3.
Transformers were so bad though.
I know. Yeah.
Was the second one the one that had like the robot balls?
The second one. Well, I don't know. I tried to block the second one from my memory, to be honest with you. The second one was really bad.
I feel like it was the one with the. Wasn't one of the super racist Transformers?
Yeah.
That had like the gold chains and the buck teeth.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the same one with the robot balls, and it was awful.
Well,
it made me sad.
Yeah, I mean, the second movie shouldn't have existed, personally. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. So that worries me, just because when you churn out that, I worry. But if he's been involved with the other two.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like other stuff has been better than that since, but we'll just see. I don't know if Paramount's going to go for that or not. But,
Let's see. Netflix price raises.
yeah.
We talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
I'm an avid Netflix user.
Yeah.
You
Me
are too, I think.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? Do you care?
I mean, it'd be one thing if they were like doubling or something,
Mhm.
but I mean, I feel like it's kind of inevitable every several years for them to bump it. I mean,
You think like
I think the way that they're doing original content.
yeah,
I'm not saying I want them to, but
yeah, that would suck.
I still kind of feel like Netflix is a pretty good deal for what it is, though.
It is.
I mean,
It is, but I feel like you can't just say like, oh, they're going to go up every few years, because then you're going to hit like there's got to be some point of diminishing returns on like going up.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what is? I mean, was it? I pay like what, $10 or it's like 8 something. I don't.
Not to
even
give
know.
like the
Honestly.
worst answer to this. I don't know. My wife handles the money.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it just disappears from my account. That's all I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you were the guy like. Sorry, you were the guy who was like, we were sitting in my living room one day, and you're like, I think I pay for Xbox Live, and I think I don't use it. And you pulled up your bank account,
Yeah.
and you'd been paying for Xbox Live for a while.
like a year.
Like a year.
Yeah. I'm such an avid Xbox user. It's
How do
really,
you-
it's really impressive.
I
I knew what happened. I mean, like I bought the friggin' thing, or I got it for Christmas, and so, but I know what happened is I signed up for it, and it was like, oh yeah, I need this to do everything, and I never used it. Yeah.
It's just funny, like, it's not that you I don't know, it's not that you had it and didn't need it. It's that, like, you'd had it for a year, which I guess if you paid for a year, like,
Yeah.
you only dealt with it once, so I guess that makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you were paying, like, every month a check was coming out.
Right.
That would have
It's
been
still-
worse.
It's still inexcusable, definitely. But
It still makes me laugh.
Yeah,
it's
well,
a good
it's-
it's a good story.
it's just worthy. Of
What were we talking about before that?
Netflix.
Netflix.
Well, I mean, like, okay, so I used to have Hulu Plus, but I don't pay for Hulu Plus anymore because so I already have cable, and we DVR a lot of stuff, but like Netflix, I watch a fair amount on the television. HBO Go, I'll watch a lot of. I mean, really, the only thing I was watching on Hulu Plus to speak of was Jon Stewart and Colbert,
Right.
and both of which I can just watch on my laptop.
Yeah,
It's
or
not-
the app. They have an app now.
Well, they have an app, but you have to have Hulu Plus to use the app.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's silly.
yeah, it's
That's silly.
So I just watch those two things on my laptop, which I guess I could theoretically AirPlay to my TV, but
Mm-hmm.
that works sometimes and doesn't work in other.
Yeah.
From a laptop, from my iPad, it always works fine, but from computers, it doesn't.
Yeah, AirPlay on the
Doesn't
computers
always
is a little
work
wonky
sometimes.
sometimes.
But,
So yeah, the Netflix price raise, I'm not happy about it. But it's not like at least it's not like an Amazon Prime situation where they're going up like.
right. I mean, if it was like next month we're going to be charging $30 for this, I would be like, well,
Well,
it was
this
nice
has
doing
been
business
fun.
with you, Netflix,
I'm
but-
gonna go back to cable.
Right. I mean, so
Um,
obviously, like, and I don't think they're that stupid to know that, like, hey, we're going to double our price on
Yeah,
this.
well, no, because they tried to do a price raise and people freaked the crap out.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, if they're gonna do it, I mean, it's like Disney World, right? So like 10 years ago, like you go to Disney World for a day for like $70, If we went to Disney World now for a day, it's like $100.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, nobody complains about it, but it's one of those things that, like, if you only raise it like $1 every, couple of years or whatever, then nobody really thinks about it. But
Which, by the way, that's what kind of Netflix is suggesting, is they want to go up like $1 or $2, and it's only going to be affecting the new customers.
Right.
Which, like, who the heck is that? Who doesn't have Netflix already?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they have, what, 36 million
It's a
subscribers?
lot.
It's a lot. It passed HBO a good while ago. I do know
Well, that's
that.
not hard to do.
Well, I mean, they still have, like, 20 some odd. Anyway. But, like, so, I mean, it's a pretty good chunk of people, but I suppose, in comparison to, like, cable subscribers, it's still a pretty low amount.
Yeah.
Well, not low, but compared to cable.
I just don't...
Low.
I feel like I can't be friends with you if you don't have Netflix.
Well, yeah, that's...
So I don't know...
It lowers the amount of conversation.
I don't know who these people are
well, it's not
that
even
don't have
that you
it.
and me know, I don't think.
Okay, good. I don't know them. So I get it. I get their pricing model. But anyway, I don't know. If you don't have Netflix, I don't want to be your friend. That's pretty much... someone in the chat just said they've never been to Disney World. So... What do you want to do with that?
That's really sad.
So you're a big Disney goer, right?
Yeah, since
before
I remember. Yeah.
So I went to Disney when I was young, really, really young. To put into perspective, like this, you might understand this analogy. Not an analogy, just a story. So the last time I went, or not the last time I went, but when I went as a kid, like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea still existed.
Mm-hmm. It's been a little while, yeah.
And so that was I've been since then. I went one more time when I was a little bit older. But like my first Disney experience was then. So it was like mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So mid 90s I went, and I was young, and I thought it was the best thing ever.
Right.
I have very vivid, like fond memories of that trip.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went a little bit older. But I had already been, at that point, I'd been to, like, several other theme parks.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'd been to, like, Kings Island and Kings Dominion, which are both Paramount.
Right.
I think Paramount? Yeah.
I think that's right,
I think they're both Paramount. And I'd also been to Universal Studios.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, Universal Studios is better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the two things are, like, entirely quantifiable, though.
Yeah?
I mean, okay, so this is my main breakdown of Disney versus Universal. And I think we've kind of discussed this before, but like, Universal kind of goes with culture and society, like as far as, so it's got a new Transformers ride that wouldn't have been there 10 years ago.
Right.
And in 10 years when Transformers is no longer relevant, they're going to bulldoze that and they'll build something else. I mean, it's not like Disney doesn't bulldoze things, but like they do it very, not
Takes
very
them
much.
forever.
Yeah, and so the Haunted Mansion is something like that's been around from like forever, and so but they've obviously updated the Haunted Mansion to like keep up with kind of technology changes and things like that. And so I feel like I think Disney's obviously much more of a family-based
For
type
sure.
thing, and not that Universal isn't, but I also think Universal's changed a lot in the last. I mean, ever since they just growing up, we didn't really go to Universal a whole lot, but back then, like, there wasn't what it is now, as far as, like, Islands Adventure section and all that kind of deal. And, we're both, huge Harry Potter people, and so, like, whenever that opened, it was whenever I kind of went. I think I went maybe once in middle school, but for me, that was a long time ago.
I probably went two or three times, like, in middle school to high school range.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I thought it was better. So the thing that bothers me about Disney, and I get it, like a lot of it's nostalgia.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's nostalgia. But I don't know. I mean, have you been to all the parks there? Or have you just been? I mean, if you just go to like Magic Kingdom, then
I've done Magic Kingdom. I did Epcot. I did the Animal Kingdom years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't. What else is there? Hollywood Studios. So I've done all of them, I think, just different times in my life.
Right.
The last time that I went, I'm pretty sure we did the Magic Kingdom and Epcot, and maybe Hollywood Studios.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did those 3, and I still was like, the whole time I just wished it was Universal because like I'm done. I'm over It's a Small World.
Well, yeah, I mean that's not definitely not the reason I go.
I was riding in.
Small World is one of those things that whenever it is hot and you're tired, that you go sit in the air conditioned boat
Right.
and not care for 10 minutes.
Who was I talking to? I was talking to someone, or I wasn't talking to someone. I was watching. It might have been Table Talk. Now I'm thinking about it. They were talking about like the rides at Disney World and Disneyland, where it's like a lot of them are really old, and it's like here's Winnie the Pooh in a dark room.
Right. Yeah.
We'll ride you in on a bumper cart goes into a dark room, and there's Winnie the Pooh. Like that's pretty much some of the rides.
Yeah, I mean for a lot of the kiddie rides, that's exactly what it is.
And so, like, when I ride rides at Universal, I'm like, the Mummy is fantastic. I love the Mummy.
Yeah.
The Men in Black ride, it's even dated to me. Like, the Men in Black ride at Universal is almost too much. Like, I almost can't do it anymore.
Well, I think it's not that Disney doesn't have, like, high-octane kind of rides. I mean, because they do.
Yeah.
I mean, did you ever do the Mission to Space thing?
No, because I don't want to die.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, people have, like, died on it. And so, like, it's not a
That's
matter
your selling point?
Yeah, exactly. If you want a high-octane ride, there's a possibility that you might have...
I would rather have Winnie the Pooh in a dark room. That sounds really weird. It's not what I mean. I don't mean it like that.
Yeah, and completely sensual. Anyway.
Oh, Papa.
And, anyway, before we go down that road. But okay. So I mean, whenever Mission to Space opened, it was just one thing. Like you just wrote it, and there was a whole lot of warnings. If you're tall or short or whatever, like you shouldn't
breathing
breathing if you're still alive. And so like, I forget how long into it. It was several weeks into it, and they had somebody that they didn't know they had a heart condition, and they found out they did the hard way. And so after that, they built like a second. Well, they didn't build it, but they added a second programming of the ride. So basically, you have one that's the really intense, and the one is just if you want to be in like the cool cockpit and press buttons, but not really do 3Gs. And so
I feel like isn't that a cop out? Like
yeah, that's exactly what it is. But it gives you, you know what I mean. But it's for people that like like you're talking about. You don't want to accidentally die on a ride.
Yeah.
And so yes, it's the WIS version for sure. But
I still feel like even if you like, I don't know. I still feel like I'd come out of it feeling like I've been gypped. I'm alive, but I've been gypped.
That's the reason it's so great coming out of the high octane version, because that was awesome, and I'm still living. So
yeah,
it's double whammy.
Maybe I need to go again and like do some of those rides.
I mean, it's kind of hard to quantify the difference. I mean, you know what I mean, though. It's still. I mean, I feel like Disney as a whole is like a whole sort of. It's a whole experience that you get lost in, as far as like you go to the hotel, you leave your car, you ride a bus, or you take a boat, or you, etc. But
I just deal.
I will say, like Harry Potter World is pretty wonderful.
Before I get to the question, yeah, you can ask about anything. Also, yeah, this is a Brick Force poster behind me. I haven't played Brick Force in a while, but I had a deal with the guys at Brick Force for a while. I did a little show for them. That sounds not that good. I know I did.
Not Winnie the Pooh in a dark
I did like a little news show. Let's turn this light on. It's getting dark. Oh gosh. So I did a show for them, not unlike Winnie the Pooh in a dark room.
That's right.
But no, I did, and a little news show, and so part of that was this poster, which used to be my news set. Now it's just art on my wall. But yeah, I haven't played it in a while though. But yeah, you are allowed to ask us anything. While you're asking us anything, because it's going to take a while for what we're saying to get to you, I'm going to answer this question that we just got on Facebook. So do you think some kind of extraterrestrial activity was involved with the missing Malaysian airplane?
Oh, God.
So I think to start, we'd have to talk about aliens, like, in general.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about aliens?
I like how you're pitching this to me first.
Yeah.
Great.
You get to go first.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'll talk all day.
Right, yeah. I don't necessarily discount aliens. I don't necessarily think that they would be the way we describe them in film, necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's always interesting in kind of like a cinematic format, because there's always some sort of like war that takes place that's very like ongoing.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if they wanted to kill us, we would probably just kind of be dead. Like
Yeah. I feel like
I don't think there would be like a World War III kind of aspect. I think we would all probably just be.
No, I don't think you fight aliens at that. I mean, because here's the thing, we're nowhere close to going that far out in space, and I feel like anything that was able to get to us, and I think someone actually, like some scientist said this, like anything that could get to us would have
advanced.
very much more, like a lot more technology than us.
Sure.
I did think something the other day, like I was watching, I think it was Cosmos. Have you been watching Cosmos at all?
A little bit.
So I was watching Cosmos and it was talking about, and I never thought about this, but like, so an alien, we still kind of, we picture them looking weird, but we still kind of like have them kind of humanoid for the most part. Like when we depict them.
Yeah, they still have arms, they still have legs.
Right, but if you think about it, like they're created, like they're made, or they come up in an environment that's nothing like Earth.
Right.
So why would they look anything like something that was on Earth?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think aliens should look like completely, for lack of a better word, otherworldly.
Right.
But like, not just in that they don't have a human face. I feel like, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if it's like feet where your hands should be, or you like breathe nitrogen. I don't know.
Right.
Like your nose is in your butt. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, I don't know, this is probably just me, my idea, but like, I think to a certain extent you have kind of this, like in the 50s and 60s, whenever you kind of had all this like early alien TV movie thing. I mean, like you kind of had to have somebody in a suit or some sort, and so I think probably some of that is probably just
had to be
morphed
humanoid.
out of the necessity of that. I mean, obviously the CG stuff has come along. Like I think you could probably do whatever you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted the nose butt creature, you could have it.
Nose butt. God, I had to blow a nose butt.
It would be really a difficult situation all the way around. No pun intended.
So, do I think aliens exist? Maybe. I mean, I don't know why. Like, I don't see any reason why they couldn't.
No.
I mean, I think, I hate to quote Contact, but
Jodie Foster would be the.
But I mean, I'm just saying, there's so much space. Why would we be the only things in it?
Yeah.
Like, why would that be a thing? Hey, that's a good quote. So Darth Maul dude just said, if aliens ever visit us, I think the outcome would be much as when Christopher Columbus first landed in America, which didn't turn out very well for the Native Americans. I don't know whose quote that is, but it's awesome. It's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a very solid point.
But yeah, I think, yeah, sure, aliens could exist. I think it's totally probable.
Sure. Do I think they messed with the Malaysian airplane?
I don't know.
I don't know.
No. I mean, so airplanes go missing. That's a thing.
Well, I think I don't know. I was watching the news the other day, and they had a very kind of detailed chart as far as the depths of where this pinger is going off for the airplane. And it's like below the Titanic as far as like the depth.
Are we still looking for this thing? Have they not found it yet?
No, they haven't found it. I don't believe.
I feel like CNN would probably have like
CNN
sent a bajillion tweets.
They would have let us know.
Yeah,
my phone would be going off. Right
That's
now.
right.
They've let me know whenever they breathed, actually, with that the whole news thing. But I forgot what I was talking about.
We got distracted by chat.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, the plane. And so
The plane.
Yeah, I mean it's a huge ocean, so I don't necessarily think we were going to. I mean, like I've been kind of astonished at the lack of knowledge on some news outlets, with people asking if they thought there would be survivors and things of that sort.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, unless they had gills, probably not. I mean, that would be not to be crass or anything, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely don't think aliens had anything to do with the plane. Planes go missing. I am a little, like, flabbergasted. Like, but that's a good word.
Flabbergasted.
But there are times when I'm, like, reminded, like, as much technology as we have, like, there's some things that we still can't do.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, like, I was thinking about it the other day, and I'm like, so, like, people in planes have gone missing for a very long time in history. Pretty much as long as people have been in planes.
Right.
Literally.
Some of which we still don't know where they are.
But it baffles me that, like, we're just as confused today with where that plane is as they were with those other planes.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of terrifies me for, like, long distance flight because you're way out there.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep tabs on people when they're way out there.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think eventually they'll probably find what's left of it, but that could take a really long time. I feel like. Well, I mean, what's interesting is like we can have people up in space and things, but like deep sea travel is still a pretty thing. It's not
unless you're James Cameron.
Unless someone should call James.
Call up Jim. I would be remiss if we didn't talk about this. That rhymed. So someone had asked me a while back ago to talk about cryptocurrency, and I can do that for about 5 minutes because that's about how much I know about it. I moved it. It's not on there anymore.
No, I was reading it.
Oh.
Feed.
So, cryptocurrency. Here's how much I know about it. I know there's a thing called Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the thing called Bitcoin appeared one day, and this is probably the worst way to describe this. I'm like one of those kids trying to explain Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just one day, everyone knew about Bitcoin. They just told, hey, Bitcoin. And it all of a sudden became really popular, and it became really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then all these other cryptocurrencies popped up. I don't understand how they work. They're beyond me. I don't get them. I had a buddy of mine who was super into them, was explaining it to me, and like, oh, well, you leave your computer on, and it mines, and it pulls some out, and you get this many for so much time, and it uses your computer so I think one of them uses your graphics card, like it uses the processing power of your graphics card.
Yeah, that's your knowledge base is probably fairly level with mine on it. I don't quite understand the reasoning behind it, or as to why I would want someone going through my computer to try to figure out. I don't know.
I mean, I
feel like I need like a PhD or a class on it to like really figure out what they're.
And I guess when you strip it down, like, all money is really nothing. Like, our money used to be gold-backed, but it's not now.
Yeah.
So it is arbitrary, which makes me angry.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me really angry. There's how do we take... Like, I get bartering because, like, this is worth a certain amount of money.
Right.
I give it to you, and it's equivalent to something else. Like, I get that.
Right.
What I don't get is someone handing me a piece of cloth and saying, this is worth $10, it buys this much amount of things, but that's just because you told me... Like, the only reason now that it's $10 is because it has a 10 written on it.
Yeah.
It's completely arbitrary. It could just as easily be a 1, or just as easily be a million.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Well, I mean, I think that's probably the only scary part for, like, financial institutions for Bitcoin, is because you do have this, like, non-tangible asset that is worth... I
don't know, arguably, I think it's just as tangible as real money.
Yeah, no, but, like, you're not having some... You know what I mean? It's because it's not paper.
Yeah.
I'm talking about tangible from
like physical.
From a physical, tangible aspect.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, you have people trying to buy cars with it and things now. I saw some on the news several weeks ago. Somebody trying to buy, like, a Rolls Royce or something with Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pretend to understand it probably as much as I need to, but...
Yeah, I mean, I know, like, there's been other ones that have popped up. Like, you have Dogecoin now that's come out of a meme, which, honestly, like, if I had the wherewithal, I would have, like, invested in Dogecoin right out the gate just because of how popular the Doge meme is.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I haven't checked in a long time, but last time I checked, it was pretty high up there. I don't get it. I wish I did. I wish I could, like, have gotten into it and made money off of it. There's a lot of people that did. There are a lot of people that have a crap ton of money in Bitcoins.
Yeah.
But right now, a lot of them can't do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Some places take Bitcoins, but not a lot. I don't really get it. Yeah, I mean, I get the supply and demand in science and blah, 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 blah. But it's still, like, completely made up, which, like I said, arguably our money is too. But whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, cryptocurrency. There was another question in there, I think.
Um,
Oh, the direction of games and microtransactions. So, this is again probably more directed at me.
Probably.
You play like iPad and iPhone games, though.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
have you had to deal with
I have an Xbox. I just don't.
right?
too much with it.
Have you had to deal with the like microtransactions a lot? Have you dealt with any games that do that?
I mean, not really. I mean, I know what they are, but I don't particularly play a whole lot of that stuff. I don't think.
See, I do.
I tend to get pretty like ADD and bored with games. These
Yeah.
days, so I tend to roll through stuff. Pretty
So
quick.
I play those games. I'm like 100% like, no joke, and I am very ashamed of what I'm about to say, but it's very true.
Is this in reference to Candy Crush?
No, I did play Candy Crush though, and I just recently started playing Farmville 2. I do have a problem.
Yeah.
But no, here's the thing though. I'm like a free-to-play game maker's worst nightmare because I don't buy things.
Right.
I just don't. I am uber patient.
I think the only thing that I've bought, I'm trying to think, like any in-app purchasing I've done, moving back on the Jurassic Park front.
Oh yeah, that
Well,
game.
you played that.
Mhm.
So they had this Jurassic Park builder game. I don't know if you have it. But so I had it on my iPad, and I had gone fairly far in the game. And then I was real smart and got a developer copy of iOS 7. And so whenever I reloaded the game, it had wiped everything out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's the only time I cheated and just bought like a crap ton of cash or whatever,
Right.
whatever the currency in the game.
The
is,
in-game currency.
And just kind of bled right through it.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm uber patient. So most of the free to play games that are, I guess what I call it freemium or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or pay to play or whatever. They don't really work on me. I mean, I play them. I play the heck out of them. Like there's a Simpsons game that I played the heck out of. More recently, there's been a Family Guy game that came out that I've played the heck out of, and I don't buy the things.
Right.
Even with I'm playing Farmville now, I hate that I said that, but I don't buy the things at all. I just it's going to take 5 hours. Cool, I'll see you in 5 hours.
Right.
Which is not what they want. They don't want me playing
No.
their game. They want the person who's got to buy it. I got to play now. I got to do it now.
Well, they need the person with addictive tendencies to not have the patience to wait 5 hours.
Right, and so I don't know. I eat them up. That's my jam. Those are my jams. I could probably, if I go through my phone right now, I mean, there's probably there's a game that has in-app purchases. There's another game that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 or so games on my phone that are the pay to win or pay to play model.
Yeah, I don't have that much. Of course, most of my stuff is on my iPad. I feel like probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It doesn't faze me. I don't care. I don't buy them. I play them, and I have fun with them, and I'm patient, and they hate me. Now there was that one game they remade. It was an older game. I want to say it was from the early '90s. EA made a version of it just recently, and it was, I can't remember what it's called now. Someone will remember in the chat in a little bit when this gets to you. But yeah, it was some EA remade it, and it was awful because not only was it pay to play, really. I mean, pay to win almost.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, they put up pay walls, so you get to a point where you almost couldn't move forward because the thing on pop was go rate in the App Store, earn this if you do, connect to Facebook, buy this thing, it's gonna be 48 hours. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I installed it played for 5 minutes and then deleted it.
If anybody asks me to connect to my Facebook, I just don't ever do anything with it again because I'm really tired of crap.
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing Farmville asked to connect to Facebook, and I told it no. That's the first game that I've told no in a while.
We'll get to the point, if one more person invited me to play Candy Crush, I was going to unfriend them.
Oh man, Candy Crush was my jam. Need for Speed Most Wanted. Yeah, I haven't played that. Is that another that kind of mentality? Probably is. Yeah, I mean, I think it's people are like, oh, it's going to ruin gaming. It's going to kill gaming. And I
Command
don't.
and Conquer,
No,
yeah.
it wasn't Command and Conquer. It was like something with a devil, like devil's lair or dungeon. I don't know. It had like a devil, like a demon thing, like as the icon, but like a cartoon demon,
Right. Yeah.
not like a scary demon,
Not scary. Yeah. Okay.
like a friendly demon.
They're friendly. Mr. Rogers. of
Mr.
Demons.
Rogers of Demons. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Anyway, Dungeon Keeper. Thank you, Dungeon Keeper.
Yeah,
That's what it
okay.
is. Anyway, that game, it was bad. People like freak out and they're like, "Oh, it's gonna kill gaming. It's gonna destroy gaming." And I don't agree. I don't think, I don't think you're. I don't think people are going to go that route. I mean, I think there are game developers that are going to make them. Obviously, I mean, you got
Yeah.
your Candy Crushes, you got your Dungeon Keeper, like they happen. But yeah, like I don't think it's going to be the norm. Like, I don't think that's going to be what happens all the time.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have game companies that do it and maybe make a killing off it, like Candy Crush has done. But I don't think, like, I mean, you're going to have your big developers that are not going to do that. They're not going to stoop to that level, and I don't think it's going to destroy gaming. I think that's just kind of a silly thought to think, like, oh, this is going to be the death of gaming, because no, like, people don't have to do it, and
Yeah.
it makes them money, but I think there are a lot of companies that realize, like, they're not going to do that, at least not on that level.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, that's my thing on those pay-to-play kind of games.
Yeah.
Just don't pay. Just play them.
Well, inevitably, if that's not what you want from a gaming developer, the best way to let them know is to not do.
Just not buy
Just
it.
not
Yeah.
buy
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have people that do, and because they care, they need it right now. They're like, it's like they're cracked. They need a new car. I could buy it. Let me buy it. Let me buy it. Let me buy it.
Yeah.
But it's stupid because, like, that's the point of, to me, the point of play the game is to earn the things. So, the model of the game, like one of these pay-to-play games, is that you can either pay it and get it now, or you can play the game and get it later. And that, to me, is just how you play the game.
Yeah.
So, sure, it tells me come back in 10 hours. Oh, darn, I'll go do other things for 10 hours.
Right.
And then come back. It's a different mentality, and you have to get into it, but I think it's... So waiting 10 hours to me is the same as, like, learning all the jumps in a Mario game. It's how you play the game. You can't really fault it for that.
Right along.
Right along.
I have not seen it yet.
Which one is that?
It's
Let's
isn't it
go.
Kevin Hart.
That's not one word. Yeah, Kevin Hart and Ice Cube.
I have not seen it yet.
No, I haven't. I love Kevin Hart, though.
Yeah.
I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, he is. He's
I mean, albeit pretty much doing what Cat Williams should be doing.
yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen it. Is it good? Is it out? I guess it's out. If you're asking me if I've seen it.
Yeah, it's out.
No, I have to save my movies because there's so many coming out this summer that I want to go see. It's not even funny. Okay, so that's what we had basically kind of on tap. We'll kind of open up the floor for some questions, maybe take some for a few more minutes, and answer your questions that way. So if you have any questions and you want to ask us, now is the time. Speak now or hold your peace till next time. So we'll kind of keep up with chat for a second. I'm going to look on the Twitters, see what's going on there, but let us know down there. Godzilla. I'm so excited about Godzilla. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it, but I'm in love with the kaiju genre. After I watched Pacific Rim, I'm like, this is where it's at. So I'm pretty stoked. Do. Godzilla, I'm excited about. Checking the YouTubes. Nope.
I used to play Need for Speed a lot back when I was on PC. eons ago.
Right.
Back when you had like the wheel set up for your PC and all that thing. Yeah. That's been 10 years ago, probably. Yeah.
Old.
Yep, basically.
Old. Do. Oh, I have 2 emails. What are they?
Yeah, that could be pretty entertaining, I think.
Yeah, because you're not like a huge gamer.
Yeah, I'm not super wonderful. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Probably do. Even if we just did like, we should do some gaming. We might have to do that.
I feel like I pretty much age myself every time I talk about gaming. As far as like whenever I was like really into it, which was like PC gaming. So I was like, it's like original Need for Speed stuff, Age of Empires, and like all that kind of jazz.
And in my day, we had the Atari.
That's right. You had the cartridge, you had to put in there just right. You had to blow in it. And it's just, that's all it worked.
No, it'd be fun to get you playing games, though. I think that'd be fun.
Oh,
We could totally do that.
You've seen me play Grand Theft Auto. So
Oh, God, guys. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
We have to do that.
Yeah.
We have to do Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
That's so fun. Okay, we're doing that.
Yeah.
We're doing that. Not right now because my PS3 is in the other room.
Yeah.
But my capture card will work perfectly for that, and I can stream it. Jesus, yes. Grand Theft Auto. So yeah. Okay, guys. Well, if we don't have any other questions, which I don't think we do, we're gonna probably finish up for today. Okay. This has been fun.
Yeah, it has been.
I have enjoyed it. We plan on doing this. I'm gonna move into the frame now.
Yay.
We plan on doing this more. I mean, in my mind, I would love to do it weekly.
I mean, yeah, I think we could probably...
Or at least most weekly.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure it out. We'll figure it out on our end.
Yeah.
But I think this is where we're going to do it. This seems to work. I like this. So stay tuned. We'll do this some more. If you ever come up with any other questions, don't hesitate to send them to me. Or you tweet them to me.
Yeah.
And just hashtag beating a dead horse. And then I'll be able to search beating a dead horse and find it. If not, you can just message me. But the best way would be to hashtag it so I can find it. And we'll put them in the box. Box? We don't have. I don't know where box came from. A hat. We have plenty of hats. And we'll put them in there, and we will answer them that way. So, thanks guys for coming out. If you're not already following me, go ahead and follow me on Twitch. Hit that follow button. That way you'll be notified when I go live. You can also go to my Twitter account, which is hojjoshMC. You can also go to YouTube. I don't know if this does anything. We're going to find out. Yeah, you can go to YouTube and check me out there. Follow me on there. You get news there, other gaming videos and other stuff like this. This itself will probably go up on YouTube as soon as it gets approved or whatever by Twitch, and I can move it over and edit it up and stuff. And we'll put it on YouTube. So, thanks guys for coming out. We'll see you next time.